Yeah, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this year's edition of TCT Plus India. And since morning, all of you have enjoyed the discussions, and everybody has appreciated the lectures and the live cases. Very interesting cases and lectures. And this year, we also started this deep dive session, which were practical demonstration of the RotaPro orbital atherectomy techniques involved, are all demonstrated, highly appreciated. Thank you all for joining, and then we expect more number of, there are 1,200 plus registrations happened. I think there are more to join on Saturday. And we're very fortunate this year to have, it was my wish and desire to have Dr. Martin Million here in person. I'm very thankful to you, sir, for joining here. And then for making this possible to all of us, and should be extremely thankful to Dr. Sushil Kodali and Dr. Ajay Kirtane, who is the link between HICC Foundation in India and the Cardiovascular Research Foundation. And again, extreme thankful to all the colleagues across the country who wish and participate in this meeting with a lot of enthusiasm. So now I request Sushil to come over, and we'll also start with We'll welcome all the dignitaries onto the dais now. We request Dr. Martin Million to come over to the dais, and Sushil will escort him onto the stage. Dr. Ajay Kirtane, Dr. Van Ganada, welcome, madam. We request our Joint Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals, Sangeeta madam, to join onto the dais. Always great, enthusiastic supporter for any of the activities which we do. Thank you very much, madam. Please join. As you all understand, in India, it's customary for us to start any program, though we start in the morning, but we generally do inauguration in the evening. We start with lighting of the lamp. Request Dr. Marty and then Sangeeta madam, all others to join, and the lighting of the program. Our HICC Foundation in India, Sushil and we do it together. So I request Sushil to say a few words of welcoming to all of you. Then on CRF side, Juan will speak. Sushil.
Thanks, Srinivas, and thanks everyone. I know it's a long day, and there was a lot of people in the room today, and great engagement, and it's really quite exciting. This has been more than 10 years that on and off that we've done some version of this meeting, and it's really enjoyable. I think a lot of it is the two-way exchange of ideas, information. I learn so much every time I come. I mean, the cases that are done here, the techniques, and sort of the engagement from everyone is really what brings makes this really enjoyable. There's obviously always challenges to running meetings, but the most important thing is to have the fundamental goal is critical. It's it's a transfer of knowledge. It's critical thought process, and sort of teaching all of us to how to think critically and make the right decision for our patients. And I think people's willingness to participate and engage is really what's key. But one of the from me, Ajay, and others coming from New York and other places in the U.S. and all the international faculty we had, it's really quite. It's an important part of what we do. Having being from Andhra and being from this region, it's really it's really important to me to come back here, and it means a lot to me that my colleagues are participating, that you're participating, and really the CRF really helping us to come and participate in this meeting has been an important component, right? There's so much knowledge of CRF, and the fundamental goal of CRF is education, and not just in the U.S. but globally. And having Juan and the entire CRF team being here and participating and being engaged has been important to help grow the mission of education. And I want to thank Juan for coming, and I want to thank him for all of his engagement and his team's engagement. I'd like him to say a few words and on behalf of CRF and all of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Sushil, and I promise I'm going to be brief. First of all, thank you for allowing us to participate in such a beautiful ceremony. Let's actually give a round of applause to all the organizers, because we know how difficult it is to organize a meeting like this, and today was an outstanding beginning of this meeting. On behalf of CRF, all my colleagues, and all the faculty coming from the US, I really want to say, thank you. This is a collaboration that has been going on for over a decade, right? And initially started with the FACS Foundation. Then we started to support the meeting as TCT India. And this year we started a special program that we call TCT Plus. And this is an initiative that we have to support our international meetings in using a very hands-on but collaborative approach. And we opened TCT India for the first time in Saudi Arabia in January. And this year is not actually the first time in India. It's perhaps 11 or 12th time that we do it. But this is actually the inaugural version of what we call TCT India, which actually aims to identify emerging faculty, to support the region, and to support all the academic and research efforts that you may have. So thank you again for all your support, your friendship, for allowing us to be here with you. And you know that you actually have a very good group of friends with CRF, and you can reach out to us in case you actually need anything in the future. We hope to see you, again, obviously the rest of the meeting, but in multiple actually years ahead of us. Thank you again.
Lincoln, we always wish to hear some words of wisdom from Dr. Martin Leon. So we request him to say a few words of wisdom and advice to youngsters and regarding our collaboration too. You can sit. You want to come here?
Srinivas, thank you so much. I must tell you, it's a little bit emotional coming back to TCT India. Yes, it's been more than a decade, and I have to give so much credit to Sushil Kodali and to Srinivas Kumar for their efforts in putting this together. So we really should thank them, because I know how much work it takes to be able to deliver a meeting of this caliber. So I just want to thank them personally and sincerely. I also want to say that I know Srinivas has been asking me each year, please, can you come in person? There have been a variety of circumstances that made that more difficult. But for me, I had a dual purpose for wanting to come this year to TCT Plus India. As Juan said, this was an inaugural beginning of a new form of the meeting. that would bring, at least we hope, even more physician training, more collaboration, and be able to bring both CRF and TCT closer together as partners as we adventure into the future of where intervention is going to be. So I wanted to participate in that activity. I have so many friends in India, and I've only appreciated over the past several days how important it is to maintain those friendships in person by expressing your appreciation for the collaboration. The second reason why I wanted to come was, I must tell you that I've been to India many times, but my wife has never been to India. And she has always wanted to go to India. So I felt very strongly that this opportunity was critical. So we had the extraordinary experience to visit Agra and the Taj. We were in Delhi, we were in Surat, and by virtue of some magic, we suddenly got here on time for this opening session in Hyderabad, which for me is a very familiar and important place. So I want to thank Linda for encouraging me to come this year. I think during this time, we may have helped to enrich the economy of India in a variety of ways, which we're also excited about. We founded TCT more than 35 years ago. And it was not ambitious, it was very humble. And I think the humility of the effort continues, even though it may appear to be more grandiose. And we founded this meeting for a variety of reasons. But I tell you that not being here personally at TCT India, for me, has been frustrating. I haven't been here in more than a half decade, and during that period of time, we've all, in our personal ways, have experienced the pandemic. During that period of time, the population of India now has surpassed China and is now the most populous country in the world. During that period of time, there are now more PCIs done in India than in the United States. And during that period of time, I think we've seen the emergence of some extraordinary leadership within the India community of interventionalists from the standpoint of expertise, commitment to academic excellence, and we're seeing this rise of a new community of leadership that adds to the already existing very senior leadership that we've enjoyed working with in the past. The principles of TCT have not changed from the very beginning. We believe strongly that we need to provide an educational platform. Part of that education is expressed through live cases or pre-recorded cases to learn from those experiences. We believe that more so now than before, even, that hands-on training is critical in order to gain the experiences for operators to have confidence, to develop more advanced skills, to provide better care for their patients. We believe strongly in the academic mission, and that is largely expressed in evidence-based medicine. So we like to discuss clinical research, we like to argue about what would be the best therapy for our patients, and we do it in a reasonably narrative and informal way, but I think it educates all of us. We believe very strongly in this concept of innovation. So we do our best to portray everything that's new and different. Sometimes it may work, sometimes not, but still it makes us think. It helps us to be creative. And that innovation piece of TCT, I think, has always been important. And finally, we believe in this concept of a global, multidisciplinary collaboration that brings us all together. Only by having people that think differently, that think out of the box, that get out of their sweet spot and do things differently, do you learn, do you grow, do you become better at what you do? And that's never better expressed than when you go to different parts of the world where things may be different for a variety of reasons, socioeconomic reasons, geographic reasons, cultural reasons. So we learn from that experience, and we really do enjoy the notion that TCT can have this global imprint and we could be expressing it in different ways. So for me to see TCT plus the India version of it is very powerful, because I see that you really have embraced the original concept of what TCT is. So we hope that you're going to have a successful 2 days, that you'll come away feeling invigorated, excited. You'll learn something, you'll make new friendships, you'll network more effectively, you'll become better at what you do in the interest of treating your patients better and advancing the field. So I'm delighted to be here, and we'll do our best to continue to be good partners this year and in all years in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Matilian, for the words of advice and support and encouragement which is always rendered to Indian fraternity. And more good things will come, be it in the form of research, collaboration, for training for youngsters, many other things to follow. Thank you. And now we request our Sangeeta Madam, Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals, to come and address the gathering. She was very busy, had many other commitments, but still I requested her to be here with a few minutes. Thank you, Madam.
Good evening and namaste. What a pleasure it is to be amongst all of you and to see the energy and a lot of the admiration still patent in the room after a very long day. Professor Leon, Professor Vion, definitely Dr. Kodali, who's guiding hand through the many years of putting this together. And of course, Dr. Srinivas Kumar, who's held this together for so many years with a great passion, but also Dr. Venkatram, Dr. Rath, and every single one of you in the audience. Let me specially acknowledge each one of you and say that your presence here is a testimony to your dedication to bringing the best care to patients. And therefore, in that journey, I wish you the very best and commit on behalf of our organization to do whatever we can to be with you. I must begin by telling Dr. Leon that one of the highlights of his speech was, of course, acknowledging how nice it was to bring Mrs. Leon to India. And I think that when you do that, you transform this from a great medical education program to bonds of family friendship that will continue to tie you stronger and stronger, and therefore I truly appreciate, I welcome, and I hope you've had a wonderful time. I think in the field of cardiothoracic surgery and interventional cardiology, all of us are very clear of the non-communicable disease. Cardiac is still the #1 killer. As technology grows and evolves, as all of you have become, as cardiologists, more and more invasive, and your cardiothoracic surgeons responded by becoming minimally invasive, and we just kept on evolving. And yet, it remains the #1 killer. It contributes to 28% of all deaths in India. And the fact is that there are so many methodologies, technologies, treatments, lifestyle behavior modifications, early warning symptoms that could bring down these numbers. So it is important for us to continue to strive and pursue an altogether, as beautifully said, multidisciplinary innovation lens towards keeping people healthy and happy, towards preventing heart disease, towards minimizing, reducing, or completely eliminating premature deaths due to cardiac problems. We've seen it very often. It is the reason that Apollo Hospitals began, for those of you who do not know, that Dr. Reddy, who was a practicing cardiologist, used to refer his patients to Dr. Denton Cooley. One day he lost a young man before they had enough time to get their visa to go to the US and to raise $100,000 required for that treatment. That day he committed that we must find a way to bring the global talent, create the infrastructure, and cure people in India itself. That was 1983, many, many years ago, many decades ago. And today, you know, almost 73 hospitals, over 300,000 angioplasty procedures, millions of patients. But whatever are the numbers, our clinics, our pharmacies, our procedures, the cath labs, whatever it is, I think the energy and the momentum and the commitment to stay young, to stay innovative, and to continue to pursue this beautiful thing called life, and say life is precious, it means something to a family. So everything that you can do to save that life and to keep that life in its fullest form is truly what all of you are dedicated to. I also do want to say that so much of our thought process on technology has been towards more and more treatments. So whether it was the quality of the lens, the beauty of the picture, the speed of when you moved to bipolar and then you went in more and more invasively. In parallel, the biochemical aspect or the medication aspect continued to grow. But one of the beautiful things about physicians, rather than just the manufacturers or etc., is the fact that the education and the learning aspect continues to be paramount in your mind. And for that, I especially congratulate every doctor who has committed himself to share the knowledge that he has. And in this regard and at this point, please give yourselves a very, very big hand. The Indian government has just finished their budget proclamation. And of the 7 major pillars, one of the most important pillar was education and skilling. And one of the drivers of that is the fact that number 1, we need more healthcare workers. Number 2, technology is expanding. Number 3, there's a global shortage. And number 4, that unless we're able to teach, we will continue to have a gap between the science that we know and the medicine that is practiced. So in the pursuit of reducing that gap, whether it's education, innovation, more technology, artificial intelligence, robotics. Yesterday we were doing a beautiful discussion on the combination of virtual reality in a learning mode, AI, and then a training platform. So can we enhance or reduce the learning curve and enhance the pace of adoption of some of the latest technologies, because we are transforming the teaching methodologies. And in the pursuit of all that, I think it was about 10 days ago that we had a very special day in India. You acknowledged the lighting of the lamp, but we had a day called Guru Purnima, which is on this full moon day, we revere our teachers. And so the combination of bringing the greatest teachers. In today's conference, you probably have 300, 400 people. Imagine if you're online, and you probably are online, so you change that number to 1,000, 2,000 teachers. But imagine if we recorded this and then put AI in it and brought AI just in time at the point of decision making, so that a larger number of people benefited the knowledge that all of you have in this room. So I'm just bringing this not because you do not know it, because you all know this, you know more. And you are following what I think is the most powerful idiom, and that is the best way to create to predict the future is to create it. So I wanted to acknowledge the fact that through your work, you are creating the future of a healthier population. You are creating the future of more skilled clinicians. And in that pursuit of creating this future, I once again dedicate Apollo Hospital's time, energy, resources, and anything that we need. And I congratulate Dr. Srinivas Kumar for your continued commitment to this, and all your other colleagues. I see Dr. Rath here, I'm sure there are many others, all the other colleagues from Apollo and across the country and across the world. I congratulate you for your commitment. I thank you for this opportunity to share some time, because every time that we are together, we get more committed to doing more for the medical fraternity. And in sports, as the Olympics begin, people celebrate the excellence, the achievement, and it's number 1, 2, 3 who are celebrated. It is the beauty of medicine and science that everyone who cares is celebrated. And whether they're celebrated on a platform like this, let me be very clear to all of you, you are celebrated in the patient and the family members' hearts. And that is truly the biggest acknowledgement that humanity can give you. So thank you all for your greatness. Namaste.
Thank you, madam, for the respect you have for the medical professionals and sharing your thoughts about Rising India also. Now we have a pleasant duty on behalf of all Indians and Apollo hospitals. We request Sangeeta madam to felicitate Dr. Marty. And this occasion, as Dr. Martilian said, we also have Madam Leon, please come onto the dais, and it's a pleasant duty to felicitate you both, and then please come. Life is a journey. That's what he's trying to depict. As legend say, life is a mystery as well. As human grew in the sands of time, he witnessed many miracles. Today, we also witness, while a story being unfolded in front of our own eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Dr. Martin B. Leon. That is our Hyderabad, which is a mark of our India, and Hyderabad welcoming Dr. Leon. We all live on earth, but which part of the world defines who we are? We live and dwell in Fountainhead of the South, that is the Hyderabad. Hyderabad welcomes Dr. Martin B. Leon. We have million things acquired in our life, but as depicted, utmost important thing in human life, apart from it, everything is health, and precisely the heart, the cardiac health, as what is depicted here. We all proud as a cardiologist, we think heart is the best and most important, and something very important contribution happened to this from Dr. Martin B. Leon. Apart from talking about cardiac health, today we are going to embark upon a journey of an individual who is a pioneer in medical profession in the field of cardiovascular medicine. As some of you might know, he was born to Israeli mother in USA. And to fulfill his mother's wish to give something back to our motherland, Israel, he went many times, taught stenting, and established many cardiac facility centers in Israel. We wish he was also born in our country, so that we could also develop that. But Israel is very fortunate, and probably that mother's love and affection and his commitment towards what his mother said is depicted in this form. He holds the position of Professor of Medicine at Columbia University Medical Center and previously served as the Director of Columbia Interventional Cardiovascular Care until recently. Presently, he fulfills the role of Chief Innovation Officer and the Director of Cardiovascular Data Science Center for Division of Cardiology. He is the founder and Chairman Emeritus of Cardiovascular Research Foundation and Director as well as founder of the main meeting, which is Transcatheter Cardiovascular Therapeutics. I thought some of the press and media are also here, that's why I'm telling about these basics. The cardiology colleagues should excuse me for this. The TCT is what is his brainchild. When we were students, actually it was our wish and desire that to go and attend it. But God is kind enough and it has happened through colleague Sushil, Ajay and all other friends that we are able to sit and conduct that program in our country too for the benefit of our Indian audience. Thank you for this association and for making us possible for the TCT this year as TCT Plus India. He conducted in this arena, I think many of you know him for his lot of multi-center clinical trials and many other things, over 50 of them, with an impressive portfolio of contributions. And he has authored over more than 1550 publications and has performed more than 10,000 interventional procedures. And this is all a great, great tribute for all the patients who got benefited. But some of the procedures which we brought to interventional cardiology, be it stenting or regulating stents and now the TAVR. He is supposed to be Everest like in cardiology with all his contributions. He is visionary, his leadership and innovative mindset have solidified his standing as a thought leader in the expanding subspecialty of interventional cardiovascular device and drug therapies. What is depicted here is through his vision, not only the US patients of cardiovascular disease, but across the world, a lot of benefits happen. And all of us are extremely thankful for all what is done for the patient care. He thought it is only injections, but we also do interventions with catheters. So wish we could do that. As a doctor, generally people think it is injections, but a lot of interventional procedures without cutting has happened in the cath lab arena through his participation, cooperation and innovation. He has innumerable achievements to depict. You know about bare metal stents, DES, and now of late, complex high-risk interventional procedures, chip type of procedures, TAVR. I think this has revolutionized and saved a lot of sick patients who have who were dying early because of lack of treatment. One more great thing which Sushil always mentioned, and we also liked about it, is he likes terms like collaboration, working together, and then encouraging all juniors and everybody to help each other. That's how we developed this important high-risk procedures and developed this concept of heart team, and all of us together can do more good to these patients. He inspired many millions of younger doctors, cardiologists. I'm happy to say that I'm also one of them, along with many of my colleagues in the country and the world across. And CRF also works with this, with one motto, to defeat heart disease and how to prevent this, and then that's how we all are attached to this. And as I said already, all the friends, ladies and gentlemen, put your big hands while the inspirational life of Dr. Leon continues further as we are unveiling his painting as a portrait here. Thank you. Okay. He used the same sand to get that painting on, I was told. So, and we request Dr. Leon to come onto stage to receive this portrait.